In the beginning, he discovered the Caribbean.
So did Columbus really discover the Caribbean?
When you really look at it, to some extent he did, and to some extent he did not. The reason why I say that he did, well, books have taught us that Columbus did discover the Caribbean, saying that he was the first to come here, but we have realized that he was not the first to come here, and you had the Amerindians that were here. So in a sense that he did discover the Caribbean, he was the one who made it known to the rest of the world. He was the one who had recordings, physical recordings of the area, the geographical area, but in the sense that he did not, people were already here. But if we're going to say that he did not discover the Caribbean, we can also say that the Amerindians did not discover the Caribbean, because people came here before them. You had the Africans who came, you had the Vikings who came. Yes, so in a sense he did, and he did not.
So, but the point is, he came here and other Europeans came here. So there must be reasons why they came.
Basically, the European exploration represented a period of global interaction and interconnectivity. As a result of technological advancements, Europeans were able to forge into new and previously undiscovered territories. They understood this to be the new world. To my knowledge, after reading this and understanding it kind of deep, what I didn't know or what I know about the Europeans, and it basically is about the three G's: the gold, the glory, and the God. I'm now cognizant of what Europe was going through with overpopulation and a lack of resources, as well as the war with the Muslim Moors.
After coming, their arrival, the Europeans' arrival on a whole led to a series of events. First, you had the slavery of the Amerindians, you had slavery of the Africans, and then it led to indentureship,
which in my opinion is a form of slavery, Indian indentureship.
So why would you say that it is a form of slavery?
Well, if you look at the conditions, then for example, they were overworked, and the white masters and the planters still had the whip over them, so they were punished, and they were even exploited in that. Even at the end of the indentureship period, when they're supposed to gain certain things like money and land, then the planters stop it.
So with all of this arrival and of the Europeans, it's triggered a series of occurrences in the Caribbean. Some of these included the enslavement of the Amerindians and the enslavement of Africans. But also another crucial one was the indentureship period,
which in my opinion is a form of slavery. Indian indentureship rather is a form of slavery in my opinion. Because if you look at the conditions, watching the video in class, I saw the conditions. They were overworked and they were punished, especially hearing the interviews of some of the Indians
that experience.
In my opinion, that created a form of slavery.
But well, I wouldn't say it was a full form of slavery. I would say that some of the conditions that they underwent reflected some things that the persons who are enslaved go through. But to me, it was not a full form of slavery. Well, to me, I would say to some extent, because they experienced better treatment than the Africans, even though they lived in their same living conditions. But the Africans had no freedom at all, and they experienced some amount of freedom. So to some extent, it was not slavery, and it was major things that led to diversification is religion.
So all these processes led to the Caribbean's identity. A major part of the Caribbean's identity is diversification.
One of the major things that led to diversification is religion. Alright, so in my opinion, how religion led to diversification is through the various ethnic groups that came to the Caribbean. Each ethnic group that came to the Caribbean had their own set of religious beliefs and practices, even within themselves as a group. For example, the Africans had their own beliefs and practices, the Europeans, the Asians, everyone. But an important aspect of that led to diversification is that some of these practices were mixed, and as a result took place. And as a result, there were new religious forms that were created. For example, revivalism.
I remember my grandmother, she was a revivalist, and I remember going to her church and I saw a lot of flags in the yard, and I asked, she said it was to call the spirits. No, that is spiritual ancestral worship comes from African ancestral worship. So,
But there's also the part of belief in the whole Bible and the God as being the supreme being.
right.
So that is a mixture between the
Christianity.
Europeans and the African practices. Alright, so also another way how religion led to diversification was where the Europeans tried to convert the people within the region to Christianity, and as a result there were persons who were changed. So you had some people now worshipping the Christian way, you had some persons worshipping their native way, you have some persons worshipping the ways that were formed through hybridization. Another thing that led to diversification was colonialism. In my opinion, during the European reign in the Caribbean, they carried several ethnic groups to the Caribbean, and as such, there are people of many races and ethnicity living in the region today. Also, through economic exploitation, the Caribbean has seen the introduction of a wide array of animals and plants. The Europeans introduced new things of nature to the Caribbean so that they were able to make a profit from it through rapid reproduction, example cane, hence the variety of plants and animals that we see in the region today.
And another example of diversification that we see here is it's not a tangible form, but it's intangible in that how we speak, in that it's our language. So there are different Creole words, for example, not Creole words, but in our lexicon, there are words that are taken from other nations. For example, Obia, that comes from the African language Igbo, and then you have Ganja, which actually is from Hindu. This is not diversification in our language, not just in the words that we use, but also in how they're formed and what in our phonology, how we pronounce the words, and in the syntax of how we structure our sentences in our Creole language, in our Creole dialect.
So what's an interesting discussion? We have seen our ideologies have changed as it regards to many topics. For example, diversification,
Maritime exploration,
Colonization,
etc. Yeah, and it is all thanks to
and
phone
inventors.
1101.
Yeah,
Never want give we credit for the good we have done. Now that them get what them want, and we them want son. So we dey behind time, but we uncivilized. But no worry, your head we left everything the time we rise up, we wise up as a nation standing tall. The white man philosophy we not take it none at all. Think critically. Don't get your knowledge compromised. If them never do, we not know why the book them full of lies.
Forget the discovery. That's all you have to say.
Wait now, my friend. The Europeans took over with a cause. That's the African migration. Then pan this them put a pause. Take a stop. Make we look. Make we wheel and come again. For our identity. What kind of African them?
what you mean?
When I mean, take a look and listen, my friend. Migration led to diversity in the population, from the way we speak to the things we eat to the wide array of people we meet.
Oh, like Mr. Chen.
Yes, me I go question it again. When you look at the Caribbean, tell me what you see. Is it the black, the brown, the white, or a state of unity? Do you see a set of people lost without identity, deemed as uncivilized due to standpoint? Deemed as uncivilized due to standpoint? Deemed as uncivilized due to standpoint? Epistemology. What must say?
Epistemology.